Okay. Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Yes. How did you get on Tinsel?
I can remember that now, can't I? How did I get on Tinsel? Well, yes, I remember now. I did go for the audition for the reading when all the major casts were being chosen. Yeah. Yeah, I had Yinka Ogo sitting there, Femi, Ujubimi, and the rest of them. Yes, but I didn't. I did get a call to pick up a role, one of the lead roles. But we had issues about content and so on at the beginning, and I asked to be excused. But to me. Maybe I did something that impressed everyone. They brought me back to pick up the role I play now, which is Dan Ade Williams. Yes.
I mean, you've been there for almost. I mean, just a few months after the beginning. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, so many people have been reading up the script and back, but you've managed to keep it going.
Yes. I wouldn't know if. I want to assure you, I didn't bribe anyone. I didn't bribe anyone to remain on it. But I guess whatever I was doing did justice to the thoughts of the people who work behind the scenes, the writers, the directors, the crew, the rest of the crew, and everyone. Because I know that the way the system works in Mnet projects like that is a vision and an eye on excellence, trying to get the best, put out the best every time.
You seem to have bridged, two generations, because you were here before Nollywood. Actually, more than that called Nollywood. How have you managed to stay? So many people, are gone basically.
Relevant.
Yeah.
A little story. When we left theatre school, and theatre was not delivering as much food on the table as one would have liked at that time. I got on one of Lola Fanikayode's projects. Lola was a very close friend then. And as my director, because we were picking up all kinds of jobs that were coming and so on, we just wanted to work, be able to afford the things that we really desired as professionals. And Lola said, Bimbo, take care, just slow down. Because if you're not careful, you will burn out before you are able to maximize your potentials. And I never forgot that. That's in excess of 20 years now.
Where is she now?
Lola, I wouldn't know, but I think she lives somewhere in England.
Oh.
Yes, I think she lives somewhere in England, And the lesson I took away from that has been very useful to me. I choose my projects carefully. I always like projects that are issue-driven. So it's not just commercial acts. I like to feel the job that I'm doing. So because it helps me also to perform at my optimum best, and I've been able to just choose in every generation like that, if you like, and yes, I built bridges, if you like.
And your character has gone through several incarnations, from not being with Titi to being with Titi.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the progression? Okay, Nollywood is 20.
20, yes.
What do you have to say to Nollywood at 20?
You say Nollywood at 20 will always be a subject that's steeped in controversy. Unless we all just want to let sleeping dogs take their nap and we move on to other things. Whoever is saying Nollywood is 20 is just being smart by half, because Nollywood, yes, is 20, but the Nigerian film industry is definitely not 20 years old. So I think it's a deliberate attempt to shift the fulcrum of history and talk about Nollywood, which is the video business really. But films have been shot from eternity until before Nollywood ever happened. So we'll all celebrate Nollywood at 20, but it does not represent the true history of filmmaking in Nigeria. You will be writing off too many greats. In fact, the real history of Nigerian filmmaking, you'll be writing out. You'll be writing out Olabalogun, you'll be writing out Edi Woman, you'll be writing out Baba Orlando Martins, you'll be writing out Ogunde, you'll be writing out Babasala, you'll write out Ade Love, you'll write out Jide Kosoko, Bello, Maromire. All those people were making films on 16, on 30, some of them, on super, a rich history of filmmaking before Nollywood ever happened. But they say it is commercial film that they're celebrating, shot on video. So, congratulations, Nollywood at 20.
Someone has mentioned Nollywood 2.0, which is like movies like Tango with Me, Papa Baby, the new.
They say Nollywood, the new Nollywood.
Yes. So, do you think there's a new Nollywood really?
No. I would be cautious to describe it as the new Nollywood. I think it's an evolution of the same Nollywood. It's come to maybe the positive decision to actually exploit to the fullest the traditional revenue streams of films, which starts at the cinema really, starts at the theatre. So the people that are being referred to, the performances, the projects that are being referred to as new Nollywood are actually just films that end up at the theatre first before they go to video and all that. Yes, no new Nollywood. It's just the same films. But we have incredibly gifted young people coming on now. They're entering the mix, and they're the ones that are changing the texture of the entire industry. The people who are shooting in Enugu, in Onitsha, in Asaba, in Port Harcourt and so on, they're still doing their thing. They're shooting straight for the video market. It's still there, But I discern an aspiration, even on their part, to be a part of that new thing that is happening. They want to be able to shoot for theatre as well, big projects and so on. Maybe they can't afford the cost. Maybe they just do not have the resources that would enable them to do that. Some of them are not technically ready. Some of them are just not ready creatively. The story may not be right, and everyone is being cautious about how they put money into things they're not sure about. It's not new Nollywood. No, I would be cautious to describe it as that. I think it's an evolution of it.
So one last question, sir.
That's right.
Help me complete this. I believe in Nigeria because
crap.